Thank you everyone for joining us. In this webinar, we are going to discuss the potential job search impacts of COVID-19 or coronavirus. And my name is Kwan. I am the CEO and founder of ICAWay. We provide an online career coaching programs for international students with some virtual supports. And for me, I specialize in helping international students build professional network here in the US and also brand yourself for the American employers. And I would like you to stay tuned to our website, icaway.com, because there will be lots of career resources for you, like podcasts and webinars like this from time to time. So before I start, I would like to run a few housekeeping items. Today's webinar is being recorded and we will publish the recording on our website, icaway.com. And for any of you who want to have a copy of this presentation, you can connect with me on LinkedIn after this, and I'd be happy to share the presentation with you. And thank you for, many of you who submitted great questions in advance. I have incorporated some of your questions in this presentation. And if you have any further questions, we will leave some minutes at the end of the presentation here to answer them. And you can use the chat box to send me messages. And if we cannot answer all of these questions because of the time limitation, we will post our answers on the website icaway.com. So stay tuned. I'm very excited about today's webinar as it is such an important topic at this time. This is something that on everyone's mind, right? And my heart goes out to all of us here who are far away from home and far away from your family. And as we all know, many of us here plan to secure employment after graduation and feel very nervous about the current situation at this time. So I would like to use this session to share and discuss some information that I found regarding the impacts on the job market. And I will also share some of the opportunities that have emerged during this crisis. And today I have invited Dr. Terah Henderson to join a conversation with me, as Dr. Henderson has an expertise in mental health, and I believe that during this crisis, mental health is one of the top priorities that our community really need the most right now. And on this call, we have a few educators joining us. We have Dr. Yasir Kurt, who is the former international student and currently a career services advisor at Texas A&M. Thank you, Yasir, for joining me today. We organized this event as we know that many of our students here feel very anxious, right, about the current situation, and we would like to share our views in career searches and in mental health topics. And for all COVID-19 related topics, we recommend that you seek updates and resources from the CDC for more information on those areas. So I would like to start spending about 3 minutes here just to talk about some disruptions and impact of coronavirus on the job market. So let's have a look what's going on out here. Some immediate changes that have happened to the hiring process is how employers are handling job interviews. And you know what, like just yesterday, I was on a call with one of my students. He just had a final interview with Amazon. And during the break time, during that final interview, it was like 8 hours interview. During the break, he got another call from Google. That was like the first screening call, and then they want to pursue him in the next round. So you see, this is the fact. Employers, some companies are still hiring, but everything will be virtual at this time. Okay, so if you are not used to with the video calls, make sure that you have all the equipment, like a good webcam, a headset like this, ready. And I will cover all of those basic techniques for virtual interviews later on in this presentation. And I have seen all those pre-submitted questions. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Many of you have shared some of your concerns on the future job openings, right? So I would like to give you a summary of some disruptions and impacts on each industry, which will impact job openings in the future. And on the right hand side here, as you can see, this pie chart represents the shares of private sector employment by industry. But there are lots of problems out there, like supply chain problems, reduction of social spending, school closures. I know that all of you here have to be taking the courses online right now, right? And there are like travel bans, oil price war, the drop of the interest rates. All of these have impacted across industries, not just one industry. Since we have limited time, I will not be able to walk through this in detail, but I will share this infographic with you on the ICWay website later this week. But then what does this all mean, right? What does this mean? It means that if you've been looking for jobs within these companies, within the companies in these industries on the table here, you need to have a backup plan. If your target companies are this industry, you need to change your course. You need to target the business that is not directly negatively impacted by COVID-19. And I'm going to show you some list of those companies later on. And this is the breaking news from SHRM this morning. SHRM is the Society of Human Resources Management, just right in my mailbox. You know, this presentation I updated until last minute just now, like at about 5 o'clock Central Time. Want to make sure that everything is updated for you guys. And SHRM said that U.S. Department of Labor reported over 200,000 unemployment claims during the week of March 14. So at this point, all those jobs, normally they are travel-related jobs that are the main affected group, but we can definitely predict that the unemployment rate in the US will continue to increase, and this pandemic certainly makes job search even harder in the future. Whether you are an international student or a domestic student, it's going to be hard for everyone. However, many companies are still looking for skilled workers, right? Just like I mentioned about one great news yesterday that I was on a call with a student, and our student members here at ICWay are still receiving job interviews, you know? For many of you who do not have a career coach, like many of us here, you may need to adapt to the change as quickly as possible and do lots of research. And here's good news. The growing spread of coronavirus has increased a demand for certain jobs. There are some certain jobs that have emerged due to the coronavirus. So let's find out what are these jobs and who are these employers. Here you go. New jobs are being posted for health agencies and international organizations because they are gearing up to respond to the outbreak. And this is the data from Glassdoor Economic Research. They have noticed an increase in job postings for researchers, communication specialists, non-STEM student, there's still job for you, communication specialists, data analysts, healthcare professionals. These are the jobs that have been increasing in demand because of the coronavirus. And when I read the job description in details, you know what happened is it really reconfirms me that ideal workers that employers are looking for during this crisis. They need someone who are multilingual and someone who is culturally competent, because this pandemic is not just an American issue, it's a global issue. It's happening all around the world. So someone like you can be an ideal candidate for this time of crisis. This is a perfect timing for international students to look for ways, to apply your skills and knowledge for the jobs that have emerged during this coronavirus. And here are employers who look for more skilled workers in the future. Employers like everyone stay home, it's too dangerous to travel to the office, everyone have to work virtually or remotely. Therefore, software companies that provide like ability to help employees, help the companies to help them work remotely are already seeing increased demands. So this is one of the industries that I would like you to keep monitoring because there could be lots of future job openings. Next is media and entertainment have been shut down as well due to this crisis. But on the other hand, on the home front, millions of people are staying home, just like all of us here. And I'm sure that you are like watching more movies than before, right? And this increased revenue for streaming platforms like Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, and many more. So I would like you to keep monitoring their future job openings, or even right now, what kind of jobs that they are looking for, what kind of candidates that they are looking for. So check into the companies in this type of industry. Now let's talk about the impact on networking opportunities, right? Events are canceled. No more in-person networking, unfortunately. And many professionals are so busy with like emergency and crisis management plans, right? But will this really stop you from networking with US professionals? I hope not. Because there are so many virtual channels that you can network. You can even attend webinars like this. Now you are connecting with me, Dr. Henderson and Dr. Kurt, right? You can even connect with us after this through LinkedIn, right? And if you need some guidance, you can even like set up a call, ask for a phone call after that. You can do the same with any professionals in the field that you want to pursue. Check out all the webinars out there. You will gain more skills, more knowledge in your industry, and also more connections. So utilize your LinkedIn to the max this time, okay? And some professional affiliations also have started a networking platform. For example, Ascend. Ascend is the largest pan-Asian professional community in North America. I am also an Ascend speaker as well. And Ascend has launched this networking platform called Ascend Cafe. I would like you to check this out. As I mentioned, I will share this presentation with you later on, so you will get this link. I would like you to try this because Ascend is the place where you will be able to meet with professionals from the top organizations, from the big four consulting firms. So if those organizations are your target organizations, I recommend that you utilize the tools that Ascend provide in order to connect with those professionals. And my simple recommendation is think of yourself as a problem solver during this crisis. All right. Think about proactively, think about the types of the services that the business will need the most during this time to solve the problem, and then stay relevant with the market, with the demand in the market, with the needs in the market. That is my simple recommendation. So I have a couple more slides before I hand over to Dr. Henderson to talk about the mental health topics. Before I do that, I have a few more recommendations for our friends who are having different stages of career search at this time. So for any of us who, if your OPT has already started, but you haven't been successful, it haven't been so successful with your job search, right? You can start now by looking for volunteer opportunities to stop the 90-day unemployment allowance clock so that you can maintain your F1 status. Right now, it's important that you maintain your F1 status, okay? And whether or not your OPT has already started or is about to start very soon, like in April, in May, you will need to practice video calls a lot. Practice a lot, okay? Make sure that you look and sound confident on the call. Use body language and posture and put on the right wardrobe to make a powerful impression, okay? The look is so important, just like you meet with them in person. And also, you want to be looking at the camera when you talk to the other person online as well, like you're meeting with them in person. And lastly, about the confidence, about communication skill, I know that many of us, including me as well, have language barriers. So during the virtual interview, please make sure that you can deliver clear and concise dialogue and practice pronunciation on words that you may not feel comfortable with. Use Google and ask them how to pronounce that, right? Use YouTube to help you with the pronunciation. And also make sure that your voice sounds very friendly, and the tone of your voice and the pace really matters a lot. Feel free to speak slowly. You don't have to rush. No, you don't have to speak very fast. Speak slowly, but be confident. And finally, your computer, all your equipment and environment is so important as well. Make sure that your computer is fully charged and plugged in. It happens a lot when I coach students virtually. Their laptop die in the middle of the coaching session, and you don't want that to happen to yourself during the interview, right? So please make sure that your computer is charged or plugged in. And also mute your phone, turn it off. Okay, all the applications, close all the browsers on the computer. You don't want any notification pop up to distract you or your interviewers during the call. All right, and do the test run, test call with your friends or with your career coach before the actual interview. And my final tip is that please prepare to share your story about your ability to work remotely. This is so important because we can predict that remote work or telecommunication will be happening for a while from now. So talk about your time management skills. Talk about your productive mindset. Talk about how comfortable you feel with the telecommunication software. And please make sure that you send a thank you note, thank you email after each interview. All right, and if you are still in school and have a little bit more time than other friends that I just mentioned earlier, then this is the perfect time for you to evaluate your skills for job searches. Which part of the job search skills that you need the most, right? Is it the interview skills? Is it the resume? Is it the networking skills? Evaluate yourself, and after your self-evaluation, then you need to take action. You need to acquire those new skills to make sure that you are ready when things come back to normal. You can bounce back right away and grab the opportunities, right? That when it comes in front of you faster than other candidates out there. All right, so many of you may say, Coach Kwan, that's easier said than done. It's just so nerve-wracking this time. I feel so nervous because there's lots of bad news out there, and it's so difficult for me to focus on my personal growth at this time. That is the reason why I bring Dr. Terah Henderson to help us about mental health topics. So from here, I would like to hand over to Dr. Terah Henderson to talk about the mental health. Terah, it's all yours.
Thank you, Kwan. Okay, so I just wanted to touch a little bit on some common mental health problems that you might experience or that you might have heard about during this time. The first one is overreaction to unknown threats. So what do I mean by that? Well, we tend to underreact to familiar threats. So if there's like a car accident or something that happens, it's something that we're familiar with. So our reaction isn't as big as what we're facing right now. And people tend to overreact to unknown threats and underreact to familiar threats. So I urge you to take time to analyze how you are responding. Is it because you don't know how to prepare, or is it the fact that you are not managing your time wisely? So just take that into consideration. And then there's also stress-induced changes that happen as a result of a crisis. You might notice that your sleeping patterns might change, your eating patterns might change as well, or you just can't concentrate as well as you used to. That's pretty normal and common during this time. And then there's also stress-induced fear and worry. And when I talk about that, I like to point out stress-induced fear and worry for your own health, but not just you, also the health of your family and friends. So those are some common areas. And then there's anger, rage, or a short temper. This is known as an unbalanced response to others. So let me give you an example. You might notice that you have a level 10 response. You're super angry, you're super mad to something that might only have been a level 2 type of situation, something really small in nature, like a call from someone who you haven't heard from in a while. So you want to gauge that a bit during this time. And then there's also the likelihood of an increased use of legal and illegal substance. What do I mean by that? You might have more urges to self-soothe as a means to avoid the effects of what is going on in the world today. You might put your goals and in some ways your life on the back burner because life doesn't look like what you imagined or envisioned just a few short days ago. So just be mindful that these are some common mental health problems. I would like to go a little bit further into what is it that you can do. So now that we are self-aware that these things might occur or I might feel a little bit unbalanced here or there, what do I need to do? Well, first of all, I'll recommend that you take breaks. And when I say take breaks, I'm talking about from watching TV, from reading articles, from listening to the news, and that includes social media. You have a huge influx of information that's coming at you, and it's not just regular information, it's negative information as well. So you want to take breaks. Next, you want to take care of your body. So do not forget about your health during this time. Stress and anxiety can manifest in the body as panic attacks, certain pains, headaches you might experience, stomach problems, diarrhea. All of this happens as a result of stress. So take care of your body and also adjust your self-care routine. So right now, what does it look like for you to change your self-care routine during this time? What activities can you do? Can you get creative in this space? Also, can you set limits and respect them? This is a very important area. What that looks like is if you have an iPhone, put screen limits on your iPhone. Go to your settings, click screen time and adjust your app limits for most frequented sites and set your downtime as well. And you do want to respect these limits as if they were non-negotiable. FaceTime your loved ones every once in a while, even if you need to time block your goals and to-do list, just to make sure that you're still productive and not overly filled with anxiety or stress or indifference. Okay, and I also put here to seek support from mental health professionals in your area. This could be a therapist, this could be a clergy if needed. So if you have done quite a few of these things and it still doesn't work out well for you, or you feel as though you need a little bit more support, feel free to reach out to a mental health professional, and I'll be open to helping you locate those that are in your area, or to give you some tips on how to locate those that are licensed and skilled in their services. Next, focus on what you can control and also connect with others. I want to break this down just a little bit because I want to advise you on who to connect with. So start thinking as I'm talking. You want to take a look at who you choose to connect with, because let's say you're an overly emotional person. You don't want to connect with someone who can be a media absorber, someone who watches the news 24/7 and gives you moment-by-moment updates. Decline those chain texts. Find ways to protect your mental space and honor yourself for doing so. It's absolutely necessary, especially now. If journaling is your thing and it has proved to be beneficial to you in the past, consider doing it again. Or even if you wanted to try something new, give it a chance. That'll also be helpful during this time. It can be anything from brain dumping to sorting through your priorities for the next few weeks. And then keep your normal routine. As best as possible, do not veer too far away from it. What that may look like is you identifying your workspace as a space in your home that is completely separate from your rest space. You want that mental shift to happen in the mornings if you do not currently work from home. You have to train yourself so that this eventually will become a habit. And then reframe your words. So instead of, I guess the main phrase that's going on right now is, well, I'm stuck at home. So instead of saying I'm stuck at home, what about, well, I can finally have the opportunity to give concentrated time to myself, my home, and my unfinished goals. Or for my international students, I finally have time to fine-tune my video interviewing skills, tweak my elevator speech into a cover letter, or research new job opportunities tailored to internationals. Okay, so those are just a few mental health tips that you can personalize to your specific needs during this time of uncertainty.
Thank you,
Kwan?
Terah. This is great. This is great. Especially number 7 here, connect with others. If you all would like to connect with other international students who are career driven like yourself, we also have a Facebook close group. If you use Facebook, you can just send a request to me. I see a way dream team. Okay, you will find this group and you just let me know that you attended this webinar, and we have this great community to support you. We are in the same boat. Thank you,
Mhm.
Terah. This is great. I can even utilize some of these tips myself. And so my message to you at this time is just very simple again. This is not time to give up. It's not time to give up yet. Okay? Focus on possibilities. I would like you to focus on possibilities. Remember that ideal workers at this time, many employers look for multilingual, cultural competent candidates because this is a global issue. They want someone like you who are a problem solver. Okay, so think of yourself as a problem solver. For example, right now we have a few students with a degree in educational technology. Sell your skills as an online course creator. Show the world how to transfer all the in-person training to online in the most effective way. That is something you can do. So look at all the possibilities that you can pursue. Stay relevant with the demand and needs in the market. And I would like to support the community further by giving you the opportunity to get one of my services at 50% off. You can have this assessment and game plan service at ICAWay 50% off, and this includes 30 survey questions to evaluate your current job search situations at 8 categories. And you will also get a job search game plan template designed for international students. And best of all, you will have a 30-minute live session with me. And in our one-on-one live session, I will deep dive into your career search situation in these 8 categories. And we will discuss some of the top priorities that you can start with. Okay, so let me show you how to sign up. Just go to icaway.com/programs and choose assessment and game plan. Click here and you will get to the course page. And when signing up, use this coupon code Be Strong 2020, okay, to get a 50% off discount here for this service. And this coupon will valid from today until the end of this month. Okay, hopefully I'll be able to help you with this career situation. I will be able to help you evaluate your situation. All right, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you on LinkedIn. Send a connection request. Let me know that you attended this webinar, and I will share a copy of this presentation with you. For students who are not participating live right now and watching the recording, you can also do the same. Connect with me on LinkedIn. All right, and when you receive this copy of the presentation, in the back of the slide, you will find additional resources that I'd like you to check them out. This includes comprehensive reports on industries that got impacted by this pandemic and the updates from the USCIS regarding the immigration topics, all right, and places where you can learn techniques to become a good virtual workers. And some of the pre-submitted questions were not discussed in here just because they are not really related to career search topics, but I'd like you to utilize your current support system. For example, with the F1 status, your CPT and OPT, go to your ISSO. Okay, your school International Student Services Office will be there to help support you. And if you have like fear and worries during this time and need someone to talk to you, your school normally have someone that specialize in this mental health, and you can reach out to them and set up a Zoom call like this with them. Okay, and if you are currently employed and you are concerned about your unemployment benefits, go to your supervisor, to your employer. They can answer all of this question for you. And at the same time, with the health related issue, go to CDC. And if you need any support with the job search strategy, you can reach out to me at any time. So we have a few more minutes to answer some of your questions. If you have any question, you can also turn up your microphone at this time, or you can put your questions in the chat box. Question from Nala. I want to ask, what is the position of the student trying for internship? So for internship, I can still see companies hiring internship. The other day, I have a discussion with someone that I know from SAP, and she's handling the internship program for SAP. And she said they are doing okay. The hiring process still going on, but everything's just going to be virtually. So if that internship that you want to pursue, you don't need to be on site. If there's opportunity for you to contribute virtually, I believe that the position is still available. Do you think it's wise then to focus on tech companies for applying? Not all techs, and again, you have to be very strategic and focused. Like what I just shared earlier, Amazon, I know that Amazon's still hiring a lot. Tesla still hiring a lot as well. Facebook still hiring. Some tech company that serve the industry like airline, hospitality, those company might be disrupted as well. So you can focus on the tech company that is more like evergreen. I think we have lots of questions coming here. Terah, if you see any question that you like to answer, please let me know. Yes, sir, you can do that as well.
Yes. Can I say something regarding these job search strategies?
Okay.
Is because I was telling you earlier, off the record, I had a chance to review most of the questions, and regarding job strategies and job search, there are like several questions. First of all, you mentioned the very beginning of this webinar, you said that the job search is always tough if you just click the enter and then just do the online application pretty much. But what we can do, and then I really like the statement earlier you shared, how you can convert this crisis to the opportunities, right? So in that case, here are some tips. I'm not gonna go in that detail, but it's like 7 of them. I'm gonna look at over here, so to make it like very fast. First of all, definitely expand your network, like professional network. You both mentioned earlier, LinkedIn is a great platform. Of course, like you provide really great, coaching sessions. Definitely they can use your services. But LinkedIn right now, the people all over the LinkedIn, and then they keep asking, these job seekers, including international students. You're looking for a mentor. You're looking right now for an answer. I'm here to help. So go ahead and then utilize that, right? It's a great time maybe to develop that, comprehensive LinkedIn profile, right? Polish it and then engage with your audience. Is because having a LinkedIn profile is just a start, but you have to go and then engage with audience. Definitely, you mentioned practice your phone and video interviewing skills. There are like some questions the students asking. So if this is common, right? I mean, it's been always like very common, but right now maybe this is the only way in this situation is because it's gonna be impossible to have on-campus interviews. And then use online resources. I'm sure that majority of these students, maybe, I shouldn't say that, but they use Handshake. So it's a really great, the platform or some other platforms on their schools. Go ahead and they keep using that Handshakes. I'm sure that some of the, the employers, they already updated their job posting. They might say that, hey, this internship, you can do it, but it's not on site. It's going to be remote work. We can hire you. There are like some questions regarding that as well. I'm touching base, several questions here. Yes, we can hire you, but you're going to be doing your job remote, right? And then several other the job search websites, Indeed, Glassdoor, there are like many and many more. But what you do is say that I just have a profile on these platforms. Okay, but is that complete platform? I mean, profile, what do you mean by that? The meaning that is that your resume is there, your contact information, who you are, what you do, what's your passion. Oh no, I just, search for jobs. No, go and then, to create that profile. Seek for mentors. You both mentioned it's very, very important. And I believe that in this, the global disaster time, I believe that most of the people on LinkedIn, they're going to be giving that 30 minutes, for mentoring. And then definitely research. But why we say that? So most of the employers, when we do that, the assessment survey with that. So what you see, like our students were prepared for this career fair, and most of them they say that they don't know much about our company. I mean, they're applying for a position, but they don't know, anything about their company. Go and learn about, the company, their mission statement, vision, and then goals, right? And then how that culture fits for you. And lastly, I will say that definitely right now there are several virtual career fairs available. If you want, I can send you those resources and links. I really encourage these international students to utilize those resources wisely as well. But pretty much, I'm sure that there are more and more to edit, but these are some I believe the tips I want to share with the students regarding job search strategies. Don't give up. Keep applying. If you see any available positions, because some of the questions, hey, can I still apply? I mean, if you see the posting online, go ahead and then apply, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Right, and just to let the student know, if you're attending a little bit later, he's the career services advisor at the Texas A&M. So thank you, it's great. Utilize the school's resources like Handshake, virtual career fairs. I have seen like lots of career fairs events coming up next month, right, in April. So there are still employers out there, and especially those students who may not be looking for jobs right now, you can also use those platforms just to connect with the employers and find mentors. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing your expertise.
Of course.
Yes, so I know that we are on top of the hour right now, and I will combine all of these questions that you left in the chat box, okay, and then put on our site. I will put together some key takeaways from this conversation that we have into a blog and put it on the icwa.com website. Please feel free to check it out anytime you like and reach out to me if you have any questions. So thank you again, Yasir and Terah, for joining me today. It is a great session. I believe that students have learned a lot from you today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope that this information will help you with your future job searches. So if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to me or to Terah and Yasir anytime. Is that okay if the student reach out to you after this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, definitely.
All right. Thank you so much. So stay safe, everyone, and have a good night.